Hi listeners, thanks for joining. Today I'm with a special guest and she will introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Almu Castro. I'm a physical therapist and osteopath. I'm from Spain, and I'm developing a business online.
Okay, so you are certified physiotherapist, is that correct?
Yes.
So tell us, our listeners, what that actually is, so they get an idea.
Okay, so physical therapist, physiotherapist. Um, it's someone that with physical means will try to help patients to get better. I think most people know this figure, but yes, either with our hands or props or exercises, we help people getting in better health.
So it is more like doing certain exercises, or is also like getting on the body and doing a kind of massage and something like that?
So there's different things you can do, and it depends a lot on the country, on the school, because I've been working in Spain, in France, and in Australia, and they all work differently. So, for example, in Spain, we are very focused on manual therapy and get the patient and try to know where there are the restrictions in mobility, where the tissue is stuck. And we are very focused on manual therapy. But in France, for example, they are more focused on exercise for the patients. So they don't do much manual therapy. They learn exercise to the patients so they can get better. And it's very different. Every school has their advantages and disadvantages, but I think mixing them, like going hands-on with the patient and then giving them the exercise they really need, it's is the thing that I like the most and where I had the most success with my patients.
So let me understand this. So let someone has an accident and he broke his arm, and then he gets the, how you call it, taped or no, whatever, that it's close together like the bone, and right. So then after this he would go to a therapy, and then that's where you would come in and said, now he have to get the mobility back from his arm what was broken, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a rehab, and it's to habilitate again the body to do the normal activity that it should be doing. For example, if you break your arm and then you went through surgery and you have a scar, we will treat the scar for sure, because that will create a restriction in mobility. We will re-strengthen the muscles. We will, at the beginning, we will treat the mobility. We will try to get more mobility in that elbow, for example, that was broken. So you will try to get more flexion and extension with different techniques. As I told you before, it's different in every country and different for every therapist.
Therapist.
And yes, so you will try to get the function back to normal.
So that's one cause where people could benefit from this, is like an accident that broke something. But what about people who aging and then they're losing also their mobility because of other sickness like gout or arthritis?
Yeah.
So that could be helpful from them. I mean, I have seen in Madrid again, in the parks, they have this open where you can do exercises, right? So the young people, they go in the gym, but the older people, they go in the park and they do sit on the bicycle or do some exercises. So I mean, or they do like how is it called? they meet in the group, and then they have someone who shows them how to move and do this kind of exercise.
Yes, so yeah, physical therapy, it's meant to help everyone from age 0 to age whatever. And yes, for older people and for all of these conditions, it's very helpful because the loss of mobility, as you said, is the beginning of pain and loss of motion and loss of function, and then if you lose mobility, then you lose strength, and then your actual life, the
It's restricted.
the things you do in your normal life, like getting up from a chair, getting up from the ground, lifting things, getting dressed, lacing your shoes.
Yes.
It gets harder and harder. So yes, I've had a lot of patients with a certain age or certain conditions that make them lose mobility. And sometimes people at 50 years old, they cannot get down on the ground, lay down, and then get up again. So that's very important in normal life, So I have patients like doing this every single day for like 5-10 times. Okay, so what you need to do is to lay on the ground, and then you find your way on how to get up, because this is something that you will do normally in your life,
Right.
And then people, they don't even realize they cannot get up from the ground anymore, So there's these activities from daily life that get more and more difficult, and we help old people or people with arthritis or chronic diseases, for sure. Yes.
I mean, this is actually also good for other kind of sicknesses. If you have this habit to at least walk every day, let's say an hour or something,
Yes.
to go out and do something, right?
Yes, sure.
And I mean, because if you're aging, then you lose, your body gets weaker, but you have to do something at least to stay active, to be also not losing your mobility, right? And
Yes.
this can happen also without an accident. This can happen only with aging, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the body gets less water, it's less hydrated, so it gets more stiff, and movement becomes a little bit more difficult, and that's all right, that's nature. But if it's interfering with your normal daily activities, then you have to do something to get better at that. Yeah.
Yes.
Even young people, if you don't move, you're in your computer the whole day, or you have like a computer work, then there's some places, some zones in the body that get very stiff, like for example,
Like the fingers.
your hips.
Okay.
Your hips.
Tell me about the hips.
Are very important for the body. And then there's lots of people, young and middle age and old age, having this low back pain, And it's because we sit too much and we never do a extension of the body. We are always crunched in the flexion mode, and the hips don't move as they should, So in Asia, for example, they sit on the ground and they sit
Like what we're doing now.
in lotus pose, or they do like a deep squat, and they can have dinner or wait for the bus or have a conversation in this deep squat, and that's
Like this. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah, this deep squat is like this, when you
Oh,
go to Asia,
okay.
and you see everyone like sitting on their ankles, like, so they don't touch the ground, because yeah, sometimes there is dirt, and you don't want to get dirty, right?
Yeah.
And so in Asia, there's way less people with back pain, and just because of this, because hips are doing what they are meant to do. You know, here in the Occidental world, we are sitting in chairs, so your hips never go in another position that 90 degrees. You know, they
Right.
go from 90 degrees to normal extension, 180, or a neutral
Okay.
position like standing up. But your legs barely go backwards or in superflexion, you know, or in external or internal rotation. And the lack of mobility of the hips is one of the things that creates most of the low back pain origins, and also knee pain. So yes, if there is someone listening and they have low back pain or any back pain or knee pain, just take a look at some exercise on the internet, or at my exercise on
Exactly.
the internet,
That's why we're talking about.
to get better.
So, I mean, first of all, we will put that in the description where they can find you, where they can look up which exercise you recommend. But you mentioned also to me that you do an evaluation. Maybe you can elaborate a bit on this, so that if someone has to tell what kind of pain he has, what kind of mobility issue he has, and then based on that result, on this data, you would recommend them certain exercises, correct?
Yes. So I'm doing online courses for patients, which hasn't been done that much. I mean, there's lots of exercise on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, but you know, they're like a long thing. So what I'm putting together, it's like a complete evaluation of the patient, and then they will get the exercise they will really need to. You know, I'm not gonna give you 20 exercise where maybe you only need 4 exercise. Right. Okay, so in this course we do a auto evaluation with a video, and then you have a form where you will mark, okay, this exercise is difficult for me, this I have a couple of degrees of mobility that is lost in my hip or in my knee or in my shoulder. Okay, so depending on where you have this restriction on mobility, you will do one exercise or the other. So let me explain. Yes. For example, we were talking about the hips. Right. Okay, so if your problem is that you cannot extend your hip, it means like from an standing position, you cannot go back with your thigh, but your other movement, the flexion, going forward with your leg, it's okay. Then why would you do exercise for flexion? No, you do only exercise for extension at the beginning, because that's the mobility you want to regain. And then when all the mobility it's equalized, it's balanced, then you can do strengthening, then you can put more load to the exercise. But the first and most important thing is to look at where the restriction of mobility is, and then which exercise will solve that. No, don't do like 20 exercise for like global problems that won't help your case. You need to do the exercise that will help you with your current shape and possibilities.
Right. So it means you focus on actually your what you need as a patient.
Yes.
And don't make exercises you actually don't need. So that means you have a busy day, but you focus exactly on what would help you. And it's also like a phased approach. So first you have this, so you get more strength, you get more mobility back, and then you can build on that, right?
Yes, exactly. Because there's lots of programs on the internet, but programs are not personalized. I want to make something that it's personalized, that you can do on actually like 2 minutes, and where you can actually see the difference at the beginning of the session and at the end of the session. So I have also this test and retest after the session, where you and
Give
your
feedback.
brain get feedback. Yes, and that's so very important for all the nervous system in the body. Okay, so at the beginning of the session, you will imagine you have pain going up the stairs. Okay, and then you can see, okay, I have pain in this part of the knee going like 10 stairs up. Then you do a couple of exercise, and at the end of the session, then you do again this going up the stairs, and then you see,
It's
it's
improving.
better,
It's
or
improving.
it changed, or something. And it's very important for the body, especially if you have like a chronic pain, to let the body know, to let your nervous system know that there is an improvement, or that there is a change. So many people think they will gonna have this pain forever. That's not true. It's either gonna get worse, either gonna get better, but the body never remains still. It always changes. And maybe your knee pain will remain the same, but you will have more pain in the hip or more pain in the ankle, because this is stiff, right? So the body is always changing, and we want to change it for the better.
So let me understand. So you start this, you say, let's say I have a problem with my knee, I can't flex it or whatever, do much anymore. But then you recommend some exercises, but then it's always a feedback. So then after a while, maybe a couple of weeks, you will make another evaluation, and you will say, is there improvement? Can you move it more? And then based on that, then the next phase come in, and then it might be another exercise to build on this. But what I understand also is mental is like, now I see the improvement, now I feel good about it, and then I'm not afraid, and then because I'm doing something, and that gives me also kind of a confidence and keeps me motivated and encouraged to do my exercises, because then that's the way to make my life better, right?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And it's when you see visually the change in the mirror, or directly looking at your hand, or directly looking at your knee, that gives the feedback to the nervous system, and for sure you will gain confidence, and you will see, I'm improving and everything. But deep down in your nervous system, it's like scientifically proven that if you see the change, your body will not be afraid of going those degrees farther that it didn't go yesterday, right? So you can have a very big improvement in very little time.
Because there is probably also a kind of afraidness, that you're afraid, because now I move it like this and then I feel something, so I'm hesitating actually to make movement. But with these exercises, I go further little steps, and then I've gained more confidence to get the full mobility or the full flexibility back.
Sure. And this frightened, how do you say, when you're afraid, it's actually because your body was suffering. Let's say you couldn't bend your knee more than 90 degrees because there was something happening. Okay, there was a threat to the body that for example, let's say the meniscus can break. Okay, so your body says, okay, we will flex till here, no more, because the meniscus can break, and we don't want that, right? But it maybe in 2 weeks that changes, but your brain didn't understand that change, like the structure of the knee and the placement of this meniscus change, and that you can go farther way in your flexion, so the muscles and the neurological input will stop you at 90-degree flexion of the knee, but because you never told your brain, oh, something changed, now I can go farther to 100 degrees or something like this. So when you're afraid, it's because of a physiological reason at the beginning, and then if you don't change that feedback, if you don't give new input every day, every week, every month, then you will get stuck at 90-degree flexion of the knee.
Because you're always afraid of the pain, or you're always afraid, and then you become not kind of satisfied, but you become stuck in this.
Yeah.
And then, but if you go with little steps with the evaluation, then you see a road to gain the full mobility.
Yeah, sure.
And that happened to me too. I went to a kind of therapy because I was out of shape and I was diagnosed with diabetic, and then I went to this, and they started once a week. They're doing like some exercises, not with weights, like more stretching and walking on the stand. And then that was the first 30 minutes, and then you had to do cardio. Cardio would mean you run around the track or you sit on the bike.
Mm-hmm.
And also I started that, and then I lost also weight because I changed my diet. But then I got really in it, encouraged to do more and more, right? They said, okay, only you go to this gym, do once, but you had to do also homework, so you had to do another one, right?
Yeah.
So twice. And then I went from there month after month that I did daily my exercise. At least walking and stretching, and so, and that became then part of my life. And then I gained also more fitness level, right? So I mean, that's the same. And even for older people, what I have seen again here, not sit at home and watch only TV or whatever. So just go out and have some exercises, socializing, and sit in the park and do 30 minutes with your bicycle, stand bicycle, right?
Yeah.
And then and just the motivation to overcome. Now you have a thing with going on your body, but overcome it but always getting also the feedback, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I think now with the internet, and so people maybe don't want to go somewhere, they can use it at home, and then can do the stretching or go out, sit on the grass and do it, right?
Yes.
So I think it's a really good idea for both sides, for the patient to give them more tools, more knowledge, and also work with them in a way to encourage them to do more and overcome certain limits, right?
Yes.
But I have another question. So you, where this all actually started, how you came to this kind of profession?
Oh, when I was 17, 18 years old, I went to the university and I chose physical therapy, and then I loved it. I've been practicing for 14 years now, from 2010, and I love my profession. I love helping people. And from year 2, let's say, even from my first year of practice, I would record the patients with their phone so they could take this exercise home with them, so they could do it at home with my explanations. So some people wanted me to record them, some other people didn't, and I knew the ones that were open about this, open to this recording, they will have the exercise in their phone forever, for
Right.
whenever they wanted
Right.
to practice, because I can see the patient once and recommend them exercises and this and that. Okay, so I do my manual therapy, I do my diagnosis with a lot of tests and
Yeah, data gathering, yeah.
things, and
Feedback.
and then I say to the patient, okay, so I did this manual therapy, I just treat this part of your body, but then you need to do the exercise home, okay? Because I'm with you 1 hour a week.
Right.
You are with yourself 24/7.
7
right?
days a week.
So you are the one who needs to do the exercises. And I was not wrong. The patients that were open to this filming and they use the filming, the exercise film in the clinic, they will get much better than the other ones that were close to, oh no, it's okay, I will remember. No, you won't
Right.
remember. You won't remember because there is a lot of details you need to know, and that's maybe why you have pain, because you don't know exactly how you have to move and
what to do,
how
right?
in which exact position. So yes, I'm trying to do this with my courses. I will record a lot of exercises, and then with the previous test you will do the ones that you need in that day, but maybe tomorrow there are other exercises that you need because you already improved this mobility somewhere, and then it's like, okay, I can go here now, so now I need other exercise from there. So it's gonna be very interactive and adapted to the
and I think
patient.
that makes sense. I mean, that's what I know from other people. They gave once a week or twice a week to physical therapists, but that's not enough. You have to actually do it daily. That's my understanding.
Sure.
And then give them the tools or give them the knowledge to do this, right?
Yeah.
But then also to get the feedback then, right? To say, okay, now you're in phase 1, and now your mobility is improving, so now we change it, right?
Yeah.
And then now in these days, this is all online. So I think that's a good idea, right? And also, I mean, we talked about this new technology using chatbots where people then actually can say, okay, I have this and this pain, and then getting the advice back to say, okay, you need that, and that, and then they're coming back and said, okay, I have now, like what you said, the evaluation, I'm now at that point, so now we switch to the next exercise, right?
Yes.
So it seems like a very interesting approach to do this.
Yeah.
And I mean, that helps not only the patient, but also the therapists or the therapists, because they can then focus more on evaluation and doing this once, because it's the instruction, because it's now recorded and they can go back, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, with this new technology, you can even treat more people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I really want to help people. I've been traveling a lot and giving treatments for free and everything. And I really want to get access to people in countries where they don't have access to this medical treatment or physical therapy or whatever, So maybe in Europe I will sell these courses for like 15 euros, but if you are buying from I don't know, let's say Morocco, Venezuela, where the buying, like the money,
The buying power
is way less, you can buy it from like 3 euros, and then you get access to a physical therapy treatment, So I really want to help people a little bit everywhere,
So then let's talk about languages. Right now we're talking only in English, but these courses will be then also in other languages. I think your mother tongue is Spanish, so you will start with that.
Yes, I'm studying in Spanish, but I also speak French and English. So I will do them in Spanish, French, and English. But I also like to do subtitles or
Right.
any artificial intelligence that translated to, I don't know, Afrikaans or
Turkish or Arabic.
Turkish, Chinese. I don't know, whatever people want to get access from. Yeah.
Right, and again, this is no new technology that could be done, and yeah, and actually, we can actually mention that we are working on this in a way, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm doing now this podcast recording with her, but we do also some shoots this weekend, right? And it's interesting. So
Yes. Yes.
okay, then another question: what do you do actually for activity in sports? So what do you do? You go walk, you run, you cycle. So what do you do for your own exercise? Not now based on some medical cause. So just for you.
Yes, now I'm 34 years old and I do lots of sports. I love sports.
Tell us.
But I only started at 23, and from when I was little, from when I can remember till 23, I had back pain, headaches, neck pain, whatever. And when I started doing exercise, everything went away. Like I had a very bad sciatica for like 5-7 years, and when I studied acrobatics,
All right.
that's the thing that I do the most now. Everything went away, so it was amazing. So I was working in Spain, and I had the Spanish school, where you do everything, manual therapy and everything, but you don't do exercises. So then I went to France, and then they only do exercises for patients. So I want to do both. So what I do as a sport, I do partner acrobatics. It's like acrobatics with 2-3 people. I do climbing in the
on the wall, like.
yeah. I prefer.
And they have this here down there on the river. They have a wall.
Oh, nice. Okay, I didn't know about that.
And there's another
that's my
wall.
city where we are.
Yeah, it's your city. Yeah. And then there's also another wall in another park. So
Yes.
So I discovered here a lot of parks, so that's why I can see what I'm seeing, that they have like this open gym where the people, even middle of the night, I saw them working out.
Yes. I mean, it's never a bad moment to do sports.
Yeah.
To stretch, to strengthen, to breathe. If we just breathe like we actually breathe like good inspiration and expiration, like 3
Right.
times a day, everyone will be better. But we just don't do it. So yeah, sports.
So personally,
very important.
I like to go out in the morning and do my walk, not run, but more walk. And I combine this when the sun comes up to make photos, and also when I see something. There's so many things to see here, right, in the parks, and yeah, so that's what I do, and that's continuation when I start this, right? And at that time they told me I was supposed to do 10,000 steps, but that was the start, right? Every day 10,000 steps. Now recently I didn't do so much, but I missed it. The other day I went out early in the morning on Friday, and I really missed to go just down to the Parque de Rio, Manzanares, and I felt the smell, because now we have spring, primavera, and the smell is totally, I liked it, right? Just the smell in the
Yeah.
morning, right?
Yeah, almond and cherry blossoms, and they're amazing.
Yeah,
Sure.
and there's a little story. Yesterday I walked by from this blossom trees, cherry, you told me, because I don't know. And then there's some people cutting some leaves, right? I found that interesting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming a bit to an end, so something else to say. Okay, so we're gonna promote now this new online sessions, exercises, and we're gonna. You said you're gonna bring up some more social media accounts, like you wanna do a YouTube.
Yes, yes.
So we're gonna add this when it all come online to the description of the podcast.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah, so anything else you wanna say to your future patients?
Just take care of your body, and then your
see.
mind will be much better.
Okay, thanks listeners. This was a very interesting conversation. Thank you so much for taking the time, and then
Thank you, Mike.
you're welcome, and bye bye.
Bye.
Okay.